Good day, strategy gamers, and welcome back to episode 21 of our Let's Play series, 1941 scenario as the Soviets. We're in turn 10, August 24th of 41. We continue to inch closer to that mud season and the decisive winter. And there were a couple of events from the last episode at the end of turn summary there where we really got to address. And we're kind of looking at one of them right off the bat here, and that is in and around Leningrad. We knew that they would continue their push north to try to reach Ladoga and to cut off Leningrad from the rest of the Soviet Union and thus resupply. So we made the decision to bring in what little reserve units we had available to us to help try to reinforce Leningrad with the thought that, that might have been the last turn that we had to get units in. It looks like they weren't able to get kind of that worst case as far as I thought they might, so arguably we might have another turn still to get units into Leningrad. I don't know if we're going to commit any more, though, than we already have. So we'll see how that goes. But as you can see, they did manage to push north. Again, not as far as that worst case scenario, but they did break through here, which gives us something to think about in terms of how we want to reestablish a front line here, right? Because this territory is really, really good for defensive operations. They don't gain a whole lot by pushing through it. It's a very roundabout way to try to get to Moscow, sure, but if we have to retreat back a couple of hexes in this direction, that's not really the end of the world. The important thing is to make sure that they probably will eventually reach Lake Ladoga, but we want to postpone that as long as we possibly can, and preferably until the winter. So we brought in units here to try to help with reinforcements. Before I get to that, though, I'm going to look over here just at some opportunities we have to shore up defenses in this area. So one of the first things I'm going to do here is actually just take this 7th NKVD border guards. I'm going to toss them on city fortification to that fortress. So they're now part of that. And then this border guard unit, I'm actually going to move back to this hex. Set them on refit. This unit here, the rifle division, I'm going to bring to that fortress. That gets us up to 64. This naval infantry, I'm going to bring back here. And I'm debating if I even just draw them back already to... Yeah, I think I will. So that gets us to 5 there. So maybe I do need to think about what I have right here. That rifle division is very depleted, so I'm just going to toss them to city fortification. No, I'm not. And I just disband them. Let's do that. Then those men just go right back into the manpower pool, and they'll show up in different units as reinforcements in the coming turns. So I think that's the better call for them. But now I have to sit here and say, okay, what do I want to do on this side? And I think I will take, let's see. I'm going to take this motorized division and bring them over here. So that's something that they can keep digging in. Good, good, good. Back here. Let's set that mechanized division to reserve. We're looking good there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these units and actually move them forward, right? So I'm going to take this rifle division and move them up. Take them off of refit status. And then similarly, I'm going to do that up here by taking this militia and moving them forward. Gets us up to 13 there. Then we're going to take this naval infantry and move them forward here. So it gives us some layers, but it also reinforces this front line that we've got. These units we're going to retreat back to more defensive positions. Gonna take them there. Then we're gonna start building out that next defensive perimeter with our reinforcements that we had come in. They need to go to refit apparently. And over here, take them down to these heavy woods. This mechanized division I think I'll bring over here. I'm going to set them on reserve, I think. Go, that should help. This rifle division we will move south here. And this guy we will move south. Set them to refit as well. And then we're going to look at withdrawing back a few hexes here. So they can go there, they can move back one. So we have that opening there in our lines. Let's take you back. Maybe I can address that by taking you there. You come up here. And then we're going to start evacuating here from around Lake Gilman, I think, because it's too much of a risk that we're about to get cut off. So first thing is let's just take this HQ unit and get them back out of Dodge. Let's toss them here. They can go there. Oh. Okay. So we're going to give up Novgorod. That's a little unfortunate. Should have thought ahead about that a little bit more and kind of what that evacuation plan looked like, but that is what it is. Going to toss these units as well to appropriate army groups. So there we go. We are running out of armies in the north, though. Well, the 55th Army. So let's take the 55th Army. We're going to have them come over here. And we want to assign them not to Stavka, but rather to Leningrad front. There we go. These guys then can all join the 55th Army. Good stuff. Excellent. All right. And I think we'll even take a few of you and make sure that you're just in a reasonable army, right? It's like we can take you and put you part of the 55th Army. There we go. So that should all help. Yeah, so just kind of building a new front line here. Those reinforcements were really useful. And we'll see whether or not they're able to push through to Lake Ladoga. I think we'll probably have another turn of being able to hold them off. I don't know. It's just such a wild card with what they do with the 8th Panzer, 1st Panzer, 3rd Motorized, 6th Panzer. So many Panzer divisions. Totenkopf Motorized Division, can't forget about them. Just all over the board. Kind of want to get more here. I don't really have too much more to allocate there. Wonder if I can take 225th Rifle Division and bring them over. There we go. That's better. That's better. So there's a few spots here, right, where a little weaker than I would like, but at the very least we have layers where I don't think they're going to be able to break through in both. Really, we just need to get the fortification level here's up another level. We need to start getting dug in these hexes. That's what it comes down to, I think. And ultimately, we'll probably... I think it actually makes more tactical sense to have this unit here, but I'm going to hold on that decision, I think. Because from here, they can be attacked from 3 hexes, but we're really not to that point yet. From here, it's only 1. But then it just, yeah. Those hex tactics can kind of get in your head sometimes, because then it just opens up this domino effect where each of these get attacked by 3 if we do that withdrawal, so we're going to leave that where it is. Leave those 2 on refit to hopefully get enough resupply that they can go back into a ready status, and then they can reinforce this line. Okay. That rifle division is gonna... That's the weak point right now. Can I do anything to help out with that? Let's take the 229th. Oh, they can't make it up there. The 282nd can, so we'll take them up. There we go. And then I'm going to take the 160th. I'm actually just going to draw them back and toss them on refit. Okay. It's going to be very interesting. I mean, we need to keep holding on to Leningrad here. Leningrad and Moscow, we hold those 2, we win. We don't, then everything gets thrown into the air. The math isn't quite so simple if that happens, so. We're looking actually pretty good south of Lake Ilmen. This one exception here where it looks like they're a little bit vulnerable to having a breakthrough. So maybe what we'll do is take that airborne brigade and bring them down. Just gives them a little bit more in terms of the defense. And then kind of want to take this unit and move them here. So right now we have that opening based off how I've built that line. So also an opening down here. I'm hesitant because really this is a point where they can break through in Straya Russa. So here's what I'll do. So we're both part of the 20th Army, huh? Let's take Cavalry Division. Move them down. There we go. I like that compromise. So then they can't fit through there in any means. We can still put up a fight here where we have the fortification level. And we will even actually toss these guys on reserve. So then if they do make a thrust here, they can maybe be of some impact. And then to the south, right, we're looking like there's a gap in the line here. So I think we're going to take this rifle division. I don't know if I want to move them off that hex, though. So let's do this. Let's move these guys back 1. And then we're going to take that cavalry division and move them here. That's what we'll do. And in this part of the world, right, we're, again, they're kind of pressing up, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to move you back, move you back. They're unready. What I'm going to do is just move them up here for now. can set them to refit, I suppose. That rifle division does not need to be on refit anymore. Rifle division very much so needs to be on refit. Okay. I'm going to leave that all for now. This tank division I'm just going to toss here. Gets us a little closer to the HQ as well. Just part of the northern front. Let's see if I can actually attach that though to the 48th Army. Let's do that. Okay. Hopefully they come out of route status here in the next turn. I'm going to withdraw soon though, so that's unfortunate. Alright, let's jump over to Smolensk. We'll come back to this in a moment. So, this was really the big news from the previous episode, is they attacked our eastern flank of Smolensk with the Panzer Division. They broke through, and then they brought in some infantry units behind them. And now there's this little pocket that has developed behind our lines, which is just not good. Not good at all. And we have to think now about how we're going to handle the situation. And really there are two things that come to mind. One is we could just build a perimeter around this, right, and just try to contain this entire breakthrough in our line. And one of the reasons that we might want to focus our efforts on that is that then might buy us enough time to not have Smolensk completely cut off, and to have a bit of a Kiev situation where we have an entire army, multiple armies worth of units defending a major town that end up getting encircled, and the cost of men and equipment is greater than the actual objective they are defending. Right? So that would just be devastating if they could cut off all of these defensive units around Smolensk. I don't know we'd recover from it. It'd probably be game over, because then we would never be able to get armies deployed quickly enough into a defensive position to stop them from ultimately taking Moscow. So that's a pretty serious concern. The second thing we think about is it's really quite narrow, and they've left themselves a little open here to a counterattack where, okay, maybe we try to close off this pocket, because if we close them off, they don't get future supplies, unless there's some airdropped, right? But not enough to sustain this many divisions. And then we still do a partial encirclement of them, really just to try to keep them contained, right? And then, as they lose supply, hopefully we can keep counterattacking and ultimately eliminating the threat. And that would be quite devastating for the Germans to lose 2 panzer divisions, 3 infantry divisions. I guess they may not be full, yeah, they're not full divisions, but they're elements of. So that's another option. And right now, if you look at it, we have 16 attacking combat value against a 4, just already as things stand today. That's without any type of reallocation of units. So I think what we will do is go ahead and try to cut off their one line into this hex. And we were successful in that. Excellent. So now that allows us a bit of an opportunity to say, okay, so we've kind of cut off your line of resupply here. These units are on refit, and I really should have taken them off that before the attack even. And over here we have more units on refit, my goodness. And I think what we're going to do now is, what units do we have that can move into that hex? And oh boy, it's not looking like many. We can take this rifle division there apparently. So let's do that. So that's 1 rifle division. Let's take you off refit, and let's see. You can't get up there either. What else do we have? So we do have them partially cut off here. Let's address this hole in the line, though, because we don't want just another repeat of what happened. I'm going to set these guys back to ready, take them off of the reserve status. Let's have them come up here. This unit I'm going to bring out entirely. They're going to come up here. Honestly, I need to pull back a little here. Take that mechanized unit there. They go there. Right, because they've started to break through in some of these areas. That means this unit isn't needed there anymore. So let's take them. They can't quite make it there, can they? They can get up here. Yeah, so let's bring them up there. Back here we've got multiple units, right, where we're now going to try to make sure we form a defensive line here. You take them off refit, you still need to stay there. They can take that division there. They're unready. So let's move them there. Them over here. It's something. I mean, it's not good looking, but it's something. Okay. At the very least, it is a front. It's not a great one, but it is a front. And these guys I really kind of want to try to hold because they at least have some strength to keep at bay these units. So let's jump back now towards this pocket in Smolensk. So we've started to bring in some units to help here. Now we need to make sure we cut off this side. So we've got these two units. This one can come off of refit. I think you can too. Really, we just want to start building a perimeter around them. That rifle division will bring up here. This tank division will bring up here. Now really, the problem that I still have to solve is, yeah, this tank division we're actually going to bring up here. I need some way to hold that hex. So let's bring them here. They're on refit. Great. That armor, that tank division, we're going to bring up there and we're going to set them to reserve. Don't have anything over there. This guy still needs to be on refit. Let's take this tank division and bring them up. That gets us up to almost 4. Yeah, really it is more than 3. That is looking more like 5.5. So that's something. And then, you know, if we set like this rifle no, let's have this rifle division go on reserve. Hopefully they'll be able to jump into action with the tank division too when they attack here, and we can actually repel them. And we don't have a perfect pocket enclosed here, but their focus is going to have to be on breaking through, I think. boy, they're going to unleash everything to try to break through there, I think. It's going to be a lot. Okay. What else can I do to try to help with the situation here? Or maybe take like this tank division back and just kind of set them on reserve, I think. Let's do that. I'm going to do the same thing here. Move them back. Set them on reserve. You go to refit. There we go. Don't know if I need both of you here. It's like this rifle division I'm going to move over. Let's put them where I want to put them. Probably up here. Yes, then it's just that one hex that I don't have a full border around, but I think that'll be okay. This HQ unit I'm going to move down here. Okay. Alright. It all comes down to this hex, I think, in the next turn when it simulates. Cannot stress how important that's going to be. It's going to be very important. It's not that much in terms of defensive value. Let's look at what we can do for support units. Don't have any available. Yeah, just anti-air. What I can do though is I can sit here and I can assign these guys all to the same army. So let's put them all in the 32nd Army. So then they at least have that going for them. I doubt there's any. Yeah, there's no support units there. Okay. Still holding Smolensk. That is quite impressive. I'm actually thinking if maybe I take something out of Smolensk here. I think I'm going to take this rifle division out. But I can't. This one I can because it has enough movement points too. But that's certainly one of the stronger ones, the 268. This, yeah, 57 of the defensive value there. I think I'm just going to leave them. Just going to leave them because in 3 turns too, this unit is withdrawing. I don't want to then just have the one infantry division holding Smolensk. So we're going to hold. We're looking at 20 defensive value north of Smolensk, 33 here. I have 31 attack and 10 attack. So it actually looks like they're building up for something. Because they have not had that in previous turns. Okay. Tense situation here. And I think, I mean, we haven't yet seen how the southern front is going to go, but I think this would probably be the point at which we look to bring in reinforcements. There's always a possibility for something around Oryol or in between Oryol and Smolensk, right? Because here we're looking pretty thin. What would we have to bring in is a good question. So when we look at this, there's a lot of rifle divisions that look like they're unlocked. We also have some rifle brigades. There's rifle divisions, but they're all pretty low TOE, which is really unfortunate. But there are some full ones here, so we could bring quite a few of those in. Cavalry divisions are just way too low to bring in right now. These tank brigades, right? We don't have any tanks. So there's that. All in all, we're just really lagging on equipment availability with these units. So effectively, we could estimate that we'd have about 6 or 7 rifle divisions that we could bring in, and that might make the world of difference if we brought them in, say, here in Kondrovo. Which is probably too close. We might have to go back here or something, but to just reinforce kind of this entire line in between Smolensk and Oryol. And then that would also help deal with this pocket situation that we have back here. So I really worry looking at this where we have 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, right? That just scares the crap out of me. If they press hard against that next turn, they could just have another breakout here, and then I'm trying to respond to that. So I think we probably will try to bring in our reinforcements back here so that we can help mitigate that situation. Okay. We skipped ahead a little. Looking at the line, I'm not going to make really any other adjustments here because in pretty much all areas concerned, we're holding pretty well. And we're just going to continue with this, and every turn that goes by where they don't break through, right, we're building up our fortification level in fantastic defensive terrain. So we just want to keep that going, frankly. It's really playing to our advantage that they haven't been pressing here. Still can't believe we've held Smolensk this long. Their breakthrough pocket is the entirety of our concern right now, is to try to make sure that we contain that situation. Now, if they do break through this hex, I think again we would try to cut them off once more. And thankfully, they really have 2 hexes that they have to worry about us cutting off here, either of these 2. And the flanks of this situation are actually looking moderately strong. Could be a little better here, but it's not bad. So if they do break through again, they still would have gone some time without any supply refreshments, but we could always counterattack once more, and then we just continue building our perimeter and the strength of it. So there's a few options left to us there. Looking down as we move towards our Yol, we've touched a lot of these units. These we're going to leave just as they are, as mentioned, because it's actually one of the few points where we have a strong defensive line. This unit is routed and unready. Mountain division of 9,000 men. Thank goodness. So I'm just going to probably take them back to their HQ. I think we'll just leave them there. All of this, I think, is going to stay the same. We were really worried about them pressing straight through to our Yol, but it hasn't happened. Right? If we look at battles from the previous turn, really where they pushed through, where they tried to push through, I should say, is right here and all along here. And actually, let's take a look at some of these battle recaps. So let's start up here. Here they were just scouting, so there's not too much to say. Here they attacked with 3,000 men, almost nothing. Next turn they were just observing. Here's where they broke through. Really they had... Oh no, sorry, this was us breaking through, sorry. We just had a gap in our line. That's how they got through. Which is just proof we can't be too laid back in our actions. Quite a bit of action along the line here. It only took 5 men lost in the battle where they won it. That's incredible. 3 attacks here. We held for the first 2. Last one. Which one did I click on? We actually did manage to hold there, but we pulled back. That's what's confusing me. Managed to hold here too, it looks like. All 3 attacks. So from this, what we can also infer is that they're probably suffering a little bit from combat prep because they had so many attacks in this area in the previous turn. It probably took a bit of a toll on them. Here they attacked with 17,000 men. Then again with another 17,000. And then lastly, they just observed us there. Where else did we have? Scouted us here. Held again there. There's quite a bit going on in this area of the front. But we did okay. We did okay, and you see here though, there are just no battles. None. Which is really surprising to me, to be honest. But now it gives us an opportunity to look at this and say, okay, well, let's let's make sure we're building up our defenses here and that we're good to go. So back here, these units are on refit. Looks like they both need to be for a while yet still. That rifle division needs to be on refit another turn. This is in front of our Yule. This rifle division. We need to assign you to an army, frankly. You can be part of the 21st Army, I think. So you're on refit and trying to think if we bring you further up. Yeah, you know, let's move you here. And your 11,000 men can really help with those efforts of us digging in. Back here, this tank division's on refit. Only 59 armor, they should stay on refit. Here we have another rifle division on refit. We're gonna bring them, I think, to the HQ here. That mechanized division should stay on refit. This rifle division is actually looking good to go, so is this one. So we can take both of these and deploy them to the front. So let's bring that one up here. That gets us up to 5. Then this rifle division. I'm actually thinking to bring them over here, looking at it. Yeah, let's bring them up here, fortification level 1. That's really going to reinforce our position. Now we're up to 9. Now they don't even have 2-to-1 odds if they attacked. That's looking quite good. Back here, this tank division, I might just disband you. This tank division's on refit, but I can at the very least, I think, bring them up closer to their HQ, closer to supply. There we go. Then the rest of the line here is looking okay. We have this gap. We know we have gaps in the line here, right? We know that. But I think we're going to keep holding just as we are. Concern though is them breaking through here south and coming up below. Let's maybe take this rifle division. Let's maybe just have them go down here and they can start digging in, I think. It's not much, but it's at the very least going to mean that they need either to use a panzer division or elements of infantry divisions combined to try to push us back, because they're going to need at least 5 or 6 attacking combat value for the result they want there. But if I can wait out at least one turn, I should be able to start building in fortifications here, which would be immensely helpful. Okay. So yeah, there's quite a bit happening here. I think I already looked at you. You have to stay on refit. Yep. But I can assign you to a more appropriate army, I think. Let's put you in the 13th. Go. And we brought in all of our reinforcements we had. Yep. Nothing over there. Now the thing, I forgot to mention this, the thing that really kills me about this pocket that they made though, is they've cut off our rail network to Smolensk. Right? So now when we look at it, the Smolensk depot doesn't have a rail connection anymore. So that's really problematic for us. And something that might have some consequences as we look at continuing to defend the city. Because although they have not encircled the city, they have effectively cut off our primary means of supply to the city. That's not something to be messed around with. So we're going to have to make sure that if we can recapture these hexes, which the whole thought of being able to recapture hexes, considering the campaign conditions and how the first 20 episodes have gone is just by itself a bewildering statement, but recapturing these so we can reestablish that line of supply is going to be quite critical. So I think that pretty much brings us to a close, though. We're going to stop just around here around the Ariol front, and then in the next episode we'll continue with the southern half of the front. We'll make the final decision where we want our reserves to go. At the moment, I'm really feeling that having them come in somewhere around Tula or just a little bit more to the northwest here to help reinforce the line between Ariol and Smolensk and this pocket would be useful. But before we make that decision and action all of that, I want to make sure that in the south we don't have anything where it's just more of a threat. I can't think of too many things that would cause that, but I think it's the prudent thing to just wait a little bit on that decision. So thanks as always everyone for your support of the channel, the videos, the War in the East 2, the Gary Grigsby genre. It's all fantastic. And if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please toss them below in the comments section. I'll end as I always do, guys. Hoping you have yourselves an excellent day. Bye now.